So, in today's video, let's talk about how to create a gold hollow signet ring. Signet rings are an incredibly ancient type of jewelry with practical origins. Rings were worn to communicate information about yourself and also as a conveniently stored wax stamp. This ring's design lets you personalize it any way you see fit. This project assumes some competence with basic jeweler skills like fabrication, sawing, and soldering. Before moving on, there is a small reminder: if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, don't forget to subscribe and press the bell icon so that you don't miss out on any newly uploaded videos. And hang on till the end of this video, you can get to know some interesting facts. So, let's begin. Number 1. Make the template. It is difficult for the signet ring to have a distinctive shape with a single piece of metal, as you have seen and likely already know. You will need to create a template for the pieces that need to be cut out if you choose to make your own. You will need 2 identical pieces of gold. A computer can be used to create your template very easily, or you can create one with a pencil, paper, and a set of compasses. You will need 3 circles that will be the axes of your signet shape. For the signet to have a good, wide top, the top circle needs to be larger. The wider the part between the large and big circle, the higher your ring will be. You can cut the excess later, so it's best to make it a little high now. Always keep in mind that taking anything out is always simpler than adding in jewelry. Remember, the wider the part between the 2 small circles, the wider your ring will be. Number 2. Cut out the template. It's time to glue your template to your metal after you've printed or drawn it. Remember to use the correct glue, and remember to dry it before the next steps. Get your jeweler's saw ready now. Make sure you set your blade tightly so that the tension is right. The better you set the tension, the better you will saw through the metal. To cut out your design, place your metal on the bench pin, hold it firmly, and saw slowly. Number 3. Form the signet. After cutting out your templates and removing the paper, it's time to smooth down the edges. At this point, it is important to focus on the meeting points of the 2 parts and make sure to verify that the angles are correct of those 2 points. The easiest way to know it is simply putting one template against the other. Once your edges are perfectly smooth, you may form the templates into your preferred curved shape. However, always keep in mind that you must soften your metal before you can shape, alter, or do anything else with it. Make it a rule. Softening of the metal is called annealing and is done with a torch or in a kiln. It might help you prevent cracks in your item and save you a ton of unneeded effort. Now apply your flame to your metal. Pickle your templates once you've annealed them. You can use citric acid if you need it. It's significantly more environmentally friendly, accessible, and affordable, and it will operate perfectly on the task. The templates will be free of oxides and flux after a short while. Rinse it in water, dry, and they will be ready for forming. Prepare your punches and cylinder forming block. You have to set each template and punch it progressively through each slot, beginning with the largest one. When the ends of your parts meet when put together, they are ready for soldering. Using your binding wire, gently bind the 2 pieces together. Number 4. Solder the templates and form the top shape. With the rounded side facing down, place your bound templates on the soldering block. This will give you some stability and will allow you to solder it from the insides. Focus on the seams or the solder won't flow. After the parts have been raised to the annealing temperature, use the solder wire that you are holding with your tweezers. That is the time to touch the seam with your solder. Don't overheat your pieces while soldering and try not to solder for too long. Don't cool it with water. Let it cool on a steel block. You can use a bezel mandrel of your choice to shape the top of your signet after soldering. To shape the signet, lightly tap it with your mallet. Number 5. Prepare the ring. You can now determine the size of the ring that has to be made. Take your calipers and measure the width of the widest point of your signet. Take your sheet metal and score it using your calipers set to the width you need. Do the same thing to the band's length. Saw it carefully now. After getting your band, file the edges that will meet. It's useless to file the sides as you will be trimming it later a lot. Number 6. Form the ring. It's time for band formation after your band has been pickled and annealed. Avoid trying to get an ideal shape. All you want is to make the ends meet and align properly. Soldering can begin as soon as the edges are aligned. Flux the seam and put the band seam down on the soldering block. Also, you can use special ring soldering tweezers to keep the ring steady. Number 7. Round the band and the signet. Place your band on the ring mandrel that you have. You should be able to round it out a little bit just by pushing it as far as you can because the metal should be soft after soldering. The signet must now fit firmly onto the ring. Half-round file to get the curve right and then form it on the ring mandrel by pushing the signet to spread the wings and then tapping them with a mallet. It is also acceptable to tap on the very top. Be careful. Number 8. Fit signet and ring. The signet can now be fitted onto the ring. You have to heat the signet carefully until dull red and then point the flame onto the seam. After successfully soldering your signet, allow it to dry and pickle. Number 9. Solder your signet ring. It's now time to solder both parts of your signet ring. Place it on one of the sides of the soldering block. The solder needs to be applied from the inside and top. Once you've finished one side, turn the ring around and proceed again. But be careful not to overheat or desolder any areas. Number 10. Solder the top. Use a piece of sheet metal for the top to reduce the chance of slipping when soldering. Now flux the top and the signet ring. Place the middle solder on the top, and then put the signet ring upside down on the top so that the cut solder is inside of the signet ring. As you heat, be careful not to overheat and don't desolder any parts. Number 11. Trim. Using your saw, you must first cut anything you can safely remove without causing any damage to your ring. You should be able to trim the top, working slowly around. When you're satisfied with your surfaces, it's time for grinding and polishing. However, you're done now. I sincerely hope you find that tutorial useful and that you come to love the ring you've created. We are headed to the end of this video. Thank you for being to the end of the video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and tell us what you think about this video below in the comments section. Let's meet again with an interesting video.